Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second webinar out of the three organized by Doxit in partner with emlyon Business School. My name is Alessandra. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, and I will be moderating this event on behalf of Doxit today. So I see here that our first participants have started to join us. A warm welcome to all of you. We are just going to wait a few minutes before we dive into our session to ensure that everyone has a chance to connect. But in the meantime, don't hesitate to say hi or introduce yourself in the chat because we are curious to know where you're joining us from. So if you want, please take a moment to share your location in the chat. So thank you for being here and we will start shortly. But in the meantime, again, I want to thank everyone for joining us and also thank our panelists for being here with us today. And I want to introduce all of you to Florence Rollet, Program Director and Professor of Luxury Marketing at emlyon. Then we have Nelly Piola, Head of Admissions at emlyon, and two of emlyon's students, Agathe and Elizabeth, who will tell us more about their experiences at emlyon Business School. So together with them, we're going to learn more about the Master in Luxury Management and Marketing, which is an 18-month program, which is offered by emlyon Business School. And we will explore the intersection of academia and industry excellence, where students have access to prestigious network of luxury brands for internships and also job opportunities across iconic cities such as Paris, London, New York City, Rome, and Perth. And also we will learn more about the admission process together with Nelly. So during the webinar, you will also have the possibility to interact with our speakers and ask them questions. So talking about that, I would like to remind you that after the presentation, we will have a Q&A session where you will be able to ask all of your questions to the panelists. So don't be shy. You just have to type all of your questions in the Q&A box that you see here on Zoom, and we will go through the questions at the end of the webinar. Also, another little piece of information before we start. For those of you interested in receiving a certificate of attendance by Doxit for the webinar, stay tuned because we will be posting the link to get the certificate at the end of the Q&A session. So I see here that some more people joined us. Welcome to those who just joined. And I think that we are able to start now. So without further ado, I'm now leaving the floor to Florence Rollet for a presentation and introduction of the program. So see you in a bit and enjoy the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandra. Well, first of all, I want to say that I am really delighted to be part of this conference and extremely eager to share with you this conversation around this amazing program. I'm also very happy and I want to thank Agathe and Elizabeth for attending this conference as they are right in the middle of their Master of Science. So there will be very precious witnesses in order to answer all your questions that I'm sure will be multiple. In a nutshell, I'd like to sum up the program structure. I don't have any PowerPoint. I think it's better to explain in a very simple way, and then we can, of course, deep dive into any of the semesters. So we have 3 semesters for this program. The first one takes place on the Paris campus of emlyon, and it starts around September, ends December, and you will have here sessions with your colleagues. So you have 120 students participating in the program. We welcome every year approximately 35 nationalities from all around the world. And that's also one of the strong assets of this program. You are able to, of course, build a network with multiple profile of people coming from various type of BBA or law or marketing diplomas. We are welcoming all sorts of profile studying luxury, but that are coming from different type of universities. So Paris will be the destination for the first part of the program. The second part is split into 3 different destinations. And we have people going first to the London College of Fashion, which is ranking among the best universities in the world in its category, which is now located in the Olympic Village of London in a brand new structure where you can have a fantastic, amazing experience. And I'm sure that Agathe will be delighted to give you some testimonials around her recent experience in this new environment of the London College. We have also students going to New York in the very famous Parsons School of Design, there again ranking among the best 2 universities of the world in its category. New York Parsons School is based in Fifth Avenue around the Washington Square. And there we will also have Elizabeth, who will be able to give you some testimonials around that. We also have a few students going to the Luis Business School in Roma. And of course, I can give you some more insight for the people that could be interested by that. So that's for the Jan-March period. April to June, all of you will fly to Australia, to Perth, which is southwest of Australia, in the Curtin University, which is one of our beloved partners. And there we have a fantastic partnership with Professor Jan Fau, who is among the best professors in the world of luxury. And this professor is an expert of luxury in Asia and Oceania, has opened a luxury laboratory applied to neurosciences, and who is extremely famous in the industry of luxury, teaching extremely interesting content around the luxury industry development and neurosciences applied to the industry. So that's the first part, which is the academic part. After these 3 semesters, where you will discover different cultures, different type of teaching, different environments, you will be then required to do an internship between 4 to 6 months in the luxury industry, wherever you wish in the world. You can be working in Chanel in New York, or in Christian Dior in Paris, or in Perth if you want. You will have a proper, real experience with a company supervisor giving you missions that you will have to accomplish. From then on, we will expect you to write your master dissertation, where you will tackle a topic of, extremely high level of interest with methodology, all the proper academic follow-up that we expect. You will have an emlyon supervisor to make sure that you accomplish the right steps. And then you will have to introduce your topic to a jury in an oral defense of your master dissertation with emlyon jury members. So that's the full process of this academic diploma that will lead you to acquire the graduation of Master of Science, Luxury Marketing and Management of the emlyon University. So that's the process. We have generally the studies every year of employability show that we reach approximately 96% of employment for students having graduated 6 months before. So our program is extremely well connected to the luxury industry. We generally welcome every year in Paris luxury brands that come and meet our students. Takes place during the Paris campus period. We welcome Chanel, Christian Dior, Louis Vuitton, all the big brands that you know are coming and meet our students, and they offer a lot of internship opportunities also. So that's really a program which is extremely well appreciated by these employers. And that's also explaining the level of employability of the program that is offered to students. I think on my side, I described the structure. And of course, Alessandra, let us know how you want to manage the next steps.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Florence, for your presentation of the program. Maybe right now we could listen a little bit about the experiences that the students had at emlyon Business School and also their experiences abroad.
Yeah, so Agathe, you want to be the first one to start and give some testimonials of your first 2 semesters? Maybe you want to introduce yourself also, your background, so that people understand the variety of backgrounds that you and Elizabeth can embody today.
So my name is Agathe. It's a great pleasure to be here on this panel today to discuss about my experiences. So I'm French, and I actually did my studies abroad. I went to McGill University, where I did a Bachelor of Commerce with a major in marketing and a minor in entrepreneurship. So that led me to being at emlyon today, where I've always had a passion for marketing and the luxury industry. It's something I've had an eye on very early on. And I had the eye on this very developed program, which was extremely interesting because you discover different places, you travel around the world to really have this aspect of a very international aspect of the luxury industry. So I decided, after being in Paris, I decided to go to London. Just because I already had the North American experience, and I thought that the classes in London were very practical and would really tackle that creative side that you might need in certain luxury internships or jobs. So that's something I really wanted to exploit. And to tackle a bit on the new campus, it's I would say the word that would qualify it is majestic, because it's 13 floors. It kind of looks like a museum. It's very open space. You feel that creative vibe all around you because you see the students there work on their designs. You also have access to different panels if you want to. And the classes are very hands-on and creative. For example, we had this class where we had to called visual merchandising, where we had to imagine and create this whole window for a brand. Then also one of the greatest aspect, I would say, from that choosing London would be being in the multicultural a very multicultural city that's huge. You have lots of things to do, and it's very interesting concerning the cultural aspect, and that's where London College of Fashion really grasps our interest, because we have this class called London the Brand, where we actually have a few visits, and it's almost as if you had a private how do you say, this private individual, like a tourist guide, explaining to you how London is built and the very different aspects of the city. And we really had this research journal where we could do collage, coloring, drawing, and really show how your creativity explains itself and how it distributes in different aspects. And that's approximately it on London. And now we're almost off to Australia, which is going to be a great experience. And that's approximately it, I would say, for the experiences. And it's really amazing working with different individuals and having lots of group projects where you really, really learn how to work with different types of personalities, which sometimes you see that it doesn't match. So you need to kind of balance yourself, and you really learn how to kind of create this cohesion to have the best outcome for your group project.
Hi,
And
my
yeah.
name is Elizabeth. Oh, sorry. Are you done?
No, I was
Okay.
gonna say I'm gonna let Elizabeth speak.
Oh, okay, got it.
Thank you, Agathe.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm honored to be invited today to talk to the people who are attending. So I'm South Korean. I am raised and educated in the United States. So I went to Georgetown University at Washington, D.C., majoring in international relations and French. So therefore, I am one of the students in the cohort that does not have a business background. I first started my career in journalism, and then I did communications for a governmental agency such as the Embassy of France in South Korea. I wanted to have a certain pivot to my career and want to work for a private sector. And what I really loved about the emlyon program is that it is very focused in one industry, the luxury industry, which is known for having high barriers for the entrance. And the program is right now offering me all the important and fundamentals that I need for a career in luxury industry. So the Paris semester was more focused on the fundamentals. For example, we have like corporate social responsibilities, prototype, digital transformation, finance, supply chain, which I never ever was able to have before coming to Lyon. And with this basic knowledge that I gained from our Lyon professors and different projects, I chose to do the strategic business and administration course by Parsons School of Design, because I really want to know how a company works and how they try to find solutions to their problems in a very ever-changing industry like the luxury industry. Being in New York was very inspiring. The city itself is the definition of trend, changes, new ideas, open-mindedness. And I believe that the school was really a great bridge between the city and I. So we had 3 classes, not a lot of courses, but we have a lot of workload and also hours of working. So we were supposed to be really great about time management. And one class was about theorizing luxury. So we'll be learning about luxury in a very academic and literary way. And it really gave me a different perspective of the luxury world and how the high-end spending customers think. For the other 2 classes, sustainable business model and new design firm, it was more focused on design thinking, which is actually a process of trying to solve a problem in a very innovative way. And one class actually offered a consulting project for an actual startup. The startup was a social club for design for families and parents with young children. And for the other class, we did a lot of research on brands and businesses in New York. And for the final project, we'll have to make a startup and try to pitch it to the investors. So we had a lot of group projects, but also individuals. We had a long paper to write, but it was a very great balanced program that I did. And I'm actually looking forward to the Perth program. We'll be there together, I got in a few days, but yes.
Okay, thank you so much to both of emlyon students for sharing their experiences and their points of view. So I think that we're able to move on to the next presenter. So we will have Nelly, who will take us through the admission process. So Nelly, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Agathe and Elizabeth, for sharing your testimonials from both your experience in London and New York. I think it's a great insight. And obviously, if you got any questions to Agathe and Elizabeth, your part will be just after mine. So I just wanted to share a few slides with you today to talk to you about a bit more about the admission process. My name is Nelly Piola. I am the program advisor for the MSc in Luxury Management and Marketing. So if you decide to apply to the program, or if you got any questions, I will be your main point of contact. Just to get back on the application process, the way it works for all MS and MSc programs is that the application process is actually in 2 steps. So the first step will be to submit your application file online via our own website, emlyon Business School website. And then our admission team will be reviewing your application files. Once confirmed, we got all the information and documents required. You will be invited to take all digital tests online, and the third and final step will be the jury looking at your application file and your digital test results. So to get back into a bit more details with regard to the different steps. So as I was saying earlier, you will need to submit your application file via our own school website. You will see the list of mandatory and optional documents being listed. As part of the mandatory document, you'll find English resume, or your transcript from your postgraduate studies, a copy of your passport or national identity card if you're from the European Union, and also either a school certificate if you're either during your last year of your bachelor's degree or master's degree, or a copy of your most recent academic diploma. Our admission team will be looking at your file, and once confirmed complete, you will be invited to take our digital test online. So for our digital test, you need to ensure you do have a good internet connection, being well dressed, as some of the questions will be recorded with the webcam. And please ensure to take them on a computer as the model doesn't work on a mobile phone or on an iPad, for example. Obviously, the MSc programs being entirely taught in English, the digital test will be therefore entirely taking place in English. Some of the questions will be you will be asked to answer verbally and other in writing. The main skills and abilities we'll be looking at during the digital test is basically looking at your profile and ensuring it will be a good match with the program. Our MSc program are quite intense. They are composed of 720 hours classes over the course of 10 months before being followed by the professional experience. So most of all, we'll be looking at your English language skills, English proficiency, motivation, interest, career project, and also your soft skills. How do you react and interact in a professional environment? So the digital tests are composed of 4 different parts, main parts. The first 2 ones will be a professional, basically a role play, fictive situation. You are facing, for example, a specific situation or problem in your company, and which action do you take for each of the questions. You will have a choice of answers on the side, and you will obviously select the one which you feel will be the most appropriate to the situation. So that will be for the first and second part, something professional as well situation, but you will be in interactive meetings, again, facing a specific problem. The third part will be the cognitive test part. So you will have balls and domino sorting to do it in a specific amount of time. You will have a first trial just to familiarize yourself with the tests. And the fourth and last part will be the motivation question. So why you would like to join this program, what is your career project, why you feel you will be a good match with the program. So just to let you know as well, and for this specific MSc program, we might have 4 MSc programs, a different set of questions. For that one in particular, or MSc in Luxury Management and Marketing, we do have a little MCQ on the luxury industry to kind of check your knowledge on the industry. I will say as well any challenges and current topics as well on the industry. So our admission boards will be meetings. They will be looking at your application file and your digital tests. results, then your results will be communicated on your Makers Board. So once available, you receive an email inviting you to connect on your Makers Board platform to check your admission results. If you've been admitted to the programs, then you will have 10 calendar days in order to accept your place in the program. To do so, you will need to complete and sign the enrollment form and also proceed to the payment of the 4,500 euros enrollment fee, which will obviously be deducted from the total amount of the tuition. So second and last step of the enrollment process will be the online administrative enrollment, available from around June time, I will say. So that's when all future students will be receiving their emlyon student email address login details in order to complete a few more enrollment steps. For example, on how to get your students' cards and any other, I would say, a bit more administrative documents to complete. So that is all from my side. If you got any questions with regard to the application process, you can find my contact details on the screen. So that's all from my side. Maybe Alessandra, you want to take over for the Q&A part. Thank you for listening.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Nelly, for your presentation. So hello again, everyone. So first of all, I want to thank all of our panelists for being with us and for their presentation, and also for sharing their experiences and introducing the program as well. So I see that we already have some questions from the participants. So I would like to remind everyone connected that there's still time to ask questions. So if you want to do it, you can do so by writing in the Q&A box here on Zoom. And so I'd say let's start with the first one. And one of the questions is, what are the fees for the master program, and do you offer any scholarship?
So I can take that question if you want, Florence. So the tuition fees for the program are 34,000 euros, but that for the full length of the program, which is 18 months. What is included in the tuition fees? You will find everything to do with enrollment fees, any administration as well fees, but also we do have also two quite, I would say, important services within the school, which is the All Career Services Center and our alumni network. So this is part as well of the tuition fees. You will have access to our Career Services Center up to 3 years following your graduation. They do offer some workshop, any coaching session on how to improve your employability, but also in partnership, I will say, in close link with our program directors, they do organize as well companies visits. For example, our student had the ability in October to go and visit our Christian Dior perfume headquarters in Paris. So that's just one among others, but just to give you an example. And with regard to our alumni network, we do have a strong alumni network. Once you've been an emlyon student, you will have access to that network, your whole life. We have around 43,000 alumni spread across 130 countries across the globe. So we say it's quite important. Just to emphasize, that any transportation, visa fees, and also accommodation, obviously when you will be going away, will have to be, and also when you will be in Paris, will have to be added to the tuition fees. They are not included. With regard to scholarships, we do have 3 available. Actually, you will be only eligible to 2 now, because the first one is the early bird scholarship, but that one is being granted to people being admitted during the very first admission session, which were taking place between October to December. However, you are still eligible to our excellence scholarship as well as our individual scholarship. So if you apply to our MSc in X-ray Management and Marketing, very important, when you will be submitting your online application, please ensure to also complete the individual scholarship form. That form will be taking into account, again, your motivation, interest, but also your financial situation. it will be reviewed by our admission board at the same time at the same time than your file, sorry. And the last one, the excellent scholarship, will be taking into account your test results for management tests. So as you might have seen, TAJMAJ, GMAT, GRE, CAT tests are not mandatory in order to apply to the program. However, according to your result, you could be eligible to have a 5 or 10% scholarship. And last information from my side, last piece of information, the individual and excellent scholarship can be accumulated.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Nelly, for answering. Actually, you also answered a couple of questions regarding the expenses for traveling and also the accommodation. So that's perfect. So we have another question actually regarding the application to the scholarships. And the question is, are there any specific requirements to apply for a scholarship? And are those just need-based or merit-based?
So just to come back on the scholarship, with regard to, as I was saying, they are looking at the financial situation of the student, but also motivation, interest. So you have a set of questions on the form, and then I will just invite you to provide your answer. But again, they will be looking at different things about the student situation. Just one as well additional thing I would like to add from my side with regard to the early bird one. The scholarship I'm talking about are for the 2024-2025 academic year. For the 2025-2026 academic year, we might have, different scholarship, if I can say, system that is to be confirmed. So the information I'm giving you today are for the 2024 intake.
Great, perfect. Thank you so much, Nelly. So another question actually regarding the application process. And this person is asking, what documents do I have to send for application? So maybe if we can circle back on those quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So with regard to the mandatory document, we will need a resume written in English resume to be able as well to see your English level. A copy of your passport or your national identity card if you're from the European Union. A copy of your latest academic diploma if you are currently during the last year of your bachelor degree or master degrees, and we'll need a certificate, school certificate, basically to prove that you are currently enrolled in that program, and all of your different transcripts from your postgraduate studies. So basically just after high school, we need to have all of your transcripts. Optional documents, you will find English tests, management tests, and reference letters. So at the moment are optional. Why? Because obviously your English proficiency will be reviewed during the second part of the application process, which are the digital tests. Management tests are not mandatory. However, they could make you eligible according to results for excellent scholarship. And reference letters, if you like to submit some, we usually, I would say, advise for an academic and professional one, and it's actually up to you, your profile, what you would like to emphasize in your application.
Great, perfect. Thank you so much, Nelly, for all the information. We can now move on maybe to some questions for our students. And one of the questions is, how was it for Agathe to get accustomed to living and studying in London? Did you already speak English, or you had to get a certificate before moving to Great Britain?
So just to quickly answer the question, I already spoke English beforehand, because I'm sorry, I have a little light issue. Because I actually lived abroad when I was younger, and I studied at McGill University, which is an English-based university. So that really improved, and for me it was really easy in terms of content and how the classes were evaluated, because I had already been used to submitting essays and really always studying and constantly hearing and expressing myself in English, and it was quite easy to, I would say, to get accustomed to living in London. At first, I was extremely afraid of the city. It's so big. I didn't really know the culture. I hadn't been to London for at least 13 years, I would say, before going back in January. So it was quite overwhelming for 2 or 3 days. But then you get used to it. You see your friends and friends from the program. I already also had friends based there, so it was quite easy, I would say, getting accustomed to living there because it's not that different than France. It's kind of a mix between North America and European way of living. And in terms of the studies, like it was quite easy. Also, traveling, the tube system is extremely developed, very easy to navigate once you're used to it. So I would say it at first you would think it's quite overwhelming, but it's quite easy. You get used to it very quickly, and then time flies by so quickly.
Great, thank you so much. And now moving on to Elizabeth, we have one question for you, which is, did you have to take a preparation exam before enrolling into a business-focused course?
I actually did not. The only exam that I had to take was the digital exam that was explained in the presentation. Well, we actually have online courses that we could take during summer, especially for people like me who does not have the business background. We had TSR, Fundamentals of Economics, Finance, Accounting, and Marketing, which actually helped me to prepare to start my semester in Paris from September. So that really helped. I didn't really prepare for the digital exam, but I just was like aware of what kind of things will be coming out, which is already explaining the preparation. But I actually honestly did kind of found a website with the Domino's exams, and I did that like 3 times, and it was a fun game. So it was just it's only that. Mostly I focus on the application, the essays, the resumes, and my letter of motivation. So I think that's the only thing I really prepared for the application.
Maybe to add something, even as a business background major, from it's really important to do the fundamentals during the summer because it really prepares you and really gets you the ground base and the fundamentals of specific classes like that. You're not lost in class and while doing the Parisian semester. So I would say even as a business background, I would really highly encourage it for practice.
Thank you both for your answers. And moving on to the next question.
Alessandra, may I, sorry to interrupt you.
Absolutely.
If you allow me 1 minute, I'd like to emphasize the fact that in order to apply to this program, you need to speak perfect English. If not, you're in big trouble because there is not a single minute of the program being taught in anything else than English. And you are very much involved in group work. So if you're not able to express yourself, concept, vision, articulated thoughts, then you are not able to get the graduation. So we give a lot of importance to the capability of English speaking when we review all the applications that we receive. And I need to tell you also that we receive hundreds and hundreds of applications. So we are very, very selective on the people that we take. So sorry, I just wanted to insist on that because the question of, living in London is in itself not a question, because if you don't speak English, you don't join the program. We speak English with a really strong capability to express concepts, strategic thinking, thoughts. It's not saying my tailor is rich. We are speaking of a high level of English capability. Sorry, I want to insist on that because looking at all these hundreds and hundreds applicants, sometimes, whatever the quality of their file, if they are unable to answer properly a written question and they are unable to express themselves in front of the video, we have, unfortunately, to reject their application.
Okay,
Sorry
thank you
about
so
that.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much for actually pointing that out. And regarding that, we also have one question, which is, so do I have to submit an English proficiency test?
No, so at the moment, the rules are that we check the English capabilities through all the tests. We don't request a specific test, you know, TOEIC or GMAT or whatever. Might change in the future, I cannot say, but definitely, whenever we see someone writing very poor English, we don't take more than 1 minute to say, sorry, it's impossible for us to welcome you, because that would be very unfair to you and to the others, and very costly for something that you wouldn't anyway graduate. So we want to be very transparent on that level of recruitment. Selection is absolutely critical for us.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Florence, so talking about the admission process, we still have a few questions regarding that. So one of the questions is, how long is the process of admission? How many weeks do we have to wait? Thank you.
So where we
I
were...
think you're the right person for that.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks. So the way we work for our MSc and MS program is that we do have different admission sessions or admission rounds throughout the year. So for the 2024 September intake, we do have 9 admission sessions. The first one open in October and the last one will be closing mid-August. However, as we go along the different admission session, more and more obviously candidates are applying, getting the results, getting enrolled to the course. So we know as we go along the year how many seats we got left. So that is why we usually recommend candidates to apply at their earliest convenience. First of all, to ensure obviously we still have some seats available, but also if they're admitted in the program, to reserve their seats as soon as possible. So the current admission session we've got at the moment will be closing on 29th of April, 23 hours 59 CET Paris time. So that is the deadline to submit your application file. Once you've submitted your application file, to go back a bit on the if I can say the timeline, your admission file will be reviewed by our admission team. It takes around 7 days. Once confirmed complete, you will be invited to take the digital test. You will have 3 calendar days to take them, and then your admission results will be communicated around 3 to 4 weeks following the completion of the digital tests.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nelly, for your answer. So still regarding the admission test, another question is, can I record my answers multiple times or I only get one shot?
You just have one shot. So good question. So just to let you know, so the test takes around an hour and a half. You can put it on pause. So basically you will have to start it and make sure you do have an hour and a half ahead of you. You cannot put it on pause, so it's everything on one go. And obviously something we would like to add, but the rules are the rules. You cannot have any human or technical assistance. So any, if you try to cheat, obviously, you could be, you could not be allowed to take the test for any other emlyon programs for a bit of a while. So just to let you know.
And if I may add on what Nelly just mentioned, we have quite often the case of people applying to the program who are preparing text in order to be able to answer the questions. I'm speaking of the videos. I'd like to send a message to all the people listening to me today. Even if you don't show the paper, it is very easy for us to see when you read. And unfortunately, I have to tell you, whatever the quality of the answers, whatever the quality of the profile, whatever the graduation, the previous graduation performance, I eliminate systematically anybody reading a text in order to answer videos, because it is very visible that someone is reading in front of a camera. So it's better to have some hesitation, some spontaneity, than to try to speak of an elaborated philosophical text that is visibly not your text, and that we can see perfectly well with your eyes that you are reading. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you're really interested into this program, show yourself, your emotions, your motivation, your own words. I'd rather have someone with some hesitation and starting back a sentence and showing really passion for the luxury industry than someone having printed out a text from a philosopher around luxury and trying to read it to think that they would be perceived as someone of a genius. It does not work. So please listen out to me, be yourself, answer the questions as they come, and don't try to prepare. And then, you know, some people get lost in the chapters that they have written, so you can see them. So I want to say that, I want to say first, and then they stumble on words, and it's so visible. So don't take people for stupid people. We know, we can see it. So that's my contribution to that.
No, and actually, yes, something I would like to add as well on what Florence just said, because just to let you know, we do not have an interview stage. So basically, the digital tests are the possibility for our admission board to get to know you. So that is why it's very important to stay natural, to show your motivation, be yourself, because you will not be invited to take an interview. So basically, digital tests are the opportunity for you to do it remotely from, you know, anywhere in the world, but also the opportunity for jury to get to know you as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much both for your answers. So we actually have a question regarding the possibility to take a different test. So just to be sure, the question is there the possibility to do an admission test with an admission consultant instead of the online digital test?
No, so in 40 we'd like to be, it's the same, if I can say, different steps for all of our candidates. However, if one of the candidates has a disability, then we can check with our team, you know, if there's any additional time which can be added to the digital test. Obviously, we need to have some proof for that team. However, you will have to take the test alone and remotely.
Okay, great. Thank you, Nelly. And another question regarding the payment in this case. And the question is it possible to pay in installments?
Yes, it is. So at the second stage of the enrollment process, the online administrative enrollment taking place from June, one of the documents you will have to sign will be the financial agreements. So basically, you will pay the 4,500 euros enrollment fee to reserve and secure your seat in the program. With regard to how to pay the remaining amount of the tuition fees, the document you will have to sign, the financial agreements, you will have two options to pay the remaining amounts. One of them will be to pay either the full remaining amounts by bank transfer by the 31st of August. Otherwise, you do have the option to pay in installments, whether you are based in Europe or outside of Europe. You will have different dates and different percentage of installments. But basically, we need to receive the full amount of the tuition fees by December. So therefore, for the September 2024 intakes, that will be by December 2024.
And if I may add, Alessandra, you should consider that this program is quite expensive, because on top of the tuition fees, you need to travel, to accommodate yourself in big cities in the world, and of course to live, to go to parties, to take a metro, to get food. So for me, it is worth getting in your mind, if you're interested, that this program will cost approximately 50,000 euros, all costs included, because you need to accommodate yourself in Paris, in Perth, in London, New York, or Rome, and you need to travel. So I think it's important, if you consider that, to keep that in mind so that you don't get in trouble after a few months, because that would be really terrible, and we would really be very sad about that. So that's something that I also wanted to share with the people here interested. It's worth investing, but it is still something that needs to be considered beforehand to make sure that you can make it happen and that you are not going to be blocked at the second semester, not being able to pay your New York accommodation, or, you know. So something that really needs to show that you have a mature approach of your graduation.
And also visa fees, according to your, obviously, nationality. Visa fees, according to the country you'll be going to, might differ as well.
Perfect. Thank you both for your answers. And we still have a couple of questions left. So one of the questions is, do the students travel together with their classes?
No, because you have multiple, people come in Paris September, so they come from their home country or someplace else. Then part of the cohort will go to London, but of course, in the meantime, they will fly back to their home place for Christmas. So this means that everybody has its own calendar and flight schedule. And as long as people join on the D-Day of the first school day in respective destination, we do not have to monitor from where you fly and the way you want to fly, or you can take the Eurostar going to London if you're Paris-based. That will really different. The same, of course, from the second semester to the third, because you fly to Australia, indeed, all of you, but some will fly from their home country because the program ends end of March. Each of the program are having different ending dates. Still, March 30, everybody is over. And the program in Australia starts mid-April, which means that you have 15 days of holidays in the meantime, where you can fly to some place or to Australia. You are adults, and we consider that you join the program at the date where we start the teaching sessions. But there is no, it's not a common destination with everybody in the same airport going to the same destination on the same date. That doesn't operate. And remember that we have 35 nationalities from South America, North America, Europe, Africa, India, China. Everybody has a different calendar.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And now to our final question. Again, this, I would say, is a mix between a question for our students and also for the department. So the question is, did you already get to do an internship with partner companies? And also, how is the network with companies composed?
Okay, so I think I already mentioned that part of our collaboration. We don't have any partner as such. We are connected to all the luxury industry players. I would say that this can be either LVMH, Kering, Richemont. All these groups carry out a huge amount of very famous luxury brands. And I haven't ever seen anybody not able to find a luxury industry internship. And I've been involved in this program for 5 years, which means that everybody finds its internship and in the luxury industry. So we have a lot of goodwill from the luxury brands that are really attracted by the quality of the diploma. We are appreciated by all the big companies, but should you be interested by an internship in a luxury startup, it's absolutely feasible as long as we validate that the startup brand is connected to the luxury industry. So it's not only going to LVMH destination, although we have a huge amount of students doing internship there, we also have, I signed very recently a lot of contracts with Chanel. I can tell you we have plenty of students that will spend their second semester 2024 in the Chanel headquarters. And we are very proud of that, of course. It's a sign of confidence of these very famous luxury brands. But we also have people that decide to go in some, jewelry startup connected to luxury positioning, where they will contribute in a different way to the success of the startup brand development. So it's very, very logical that we have quite a good level of internship connection. I mean, I've never seen anybody telling me, sorry, I wasn't able to find an internship. It might start in September instead of July because you could not find the proper date. It can be 6 months later, but honestly, that's not a situation we have been confronted to. So I don't know if I have answered the question of this participant.
Maybe I can.
Yeah, sure.
Go
Please,
ahead,
ladies.
Elizabeth.
So I think most of our cohorts are actually looking into finding internship at the moment. That either starts in July this year or September this year. The school has an amazing career consulting career center where it helps us to like build on a CV both in French and in English. And we have a one-on-one like webinar to like 30 minutes to really talk with the career consultant to really personalize our processes. And we've been looking into LVMH, careering, or different like big career like job websites, but also through LinkedIn. We'll be applying through that. And it was already explained before, but during our Paris semester, a lot of our the HR team from different brands, from like LVMH, Dior, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, like everyone comes to meet with us, and that's when we really get to connect. And that's how we try to connect with LinkedIn and like ask questions afterwards, the conferences. So that's how the networking with the companies that are really composed. But well, we were actually very honored to have a partnered project with Guerlain last year. And we were able to like pitch our like marketing campaigns and etc. So has a little bit of an insight into how working for the luxury brand is like. And that's how we really interact with the companies at school. But yes, just want to add on to that.
And maybe just to add a little bit is, as Elizabeth explained, we do have companies coming to the school. So one insight I would give you if you're considering the program is really be bold and be yourself. Don't be afraid to connect with individuals, even through LinkedIn, to send a few messages to your alumni who work in a company that you want to work in. And also maybe when looking for an internship in different companies, consider the industry it works in, whether it's jewelry, wine and spirits, or more in haute couture. Also consider that when applying, because it could also vary the competitiveness of the internships and the number of applications. And really be bold and don't be afraid to send and connect with individuals. Some people from the cohort have actually managed to gain internships by connecting with the HR teams who came to the school and keeping in contact with them when the offers came out. So that's one little insight I would give you guys if you're considering for the program.
Perfect.
I think you made a very good point. The Career Center of emlyon is absolutely supportive of all your initiatives related to internship investigation. You also have access to a one-to-one, as Elizabeth mentioned, coach sessions where you can review your curriculum, you can ask questions, you can simulate recruitment interviews. So you have access to that whenever you wish. You have to settle down an appointment. It's on Zoom. We have a connection to Job Teaser where you can access all the network. And of course, all the possibilities and appointments that you will have with the famous brands that are visiting in Paris campus. But of course, probably that in Australia, you will also have visits of very famous luxury brands in the university for you only. So it means that the connection with the industry is really easy, and the support of the career center does not take place only during your academic year. It's also there for you the forthcoming years after graduation, so that you can feel that you are part of the alumni of emlyon in a really concrete and effective way. So I think it's also worth mentioning. And of course, emlyon is ranked among the top 5 best business schools in the world. So that means that the reputation and the credibility of the brand is absolutely very high.
Perfect. Thank you so much for all of your answers. And that was our last question. So again, before we say goodbye, I would like to thank our panelists for sharing their insights, and also to thank our participants for being with us and for all of your questions. So I would like to remind everyone interested in receiving a certificate of attendance by Doxity that you can do so by clicking on the link that I'm sending right now in the chat. And I also want to remind everyone that since you registered for this event, in the following days, you will receive an email with the link to the recording of the webinar, and also all the relevant contact to information to get in touch with emlyon Business School. So thanks again to our speakers and everyone connected with us today. And I hope to see you again in the next webinar organized by Doxity. Bye, and have a nice rest of your day.
Thank you very much. It was nice speaking with all of you. Thank you to Agathe and Elizabeth also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Nelly.